everybody, to the Life, Love, and Money Show with Summer and Jen. Welcome, Jen.
Welcome, Summer. Oh my gosh, the last day of 2020.
It is. And here we are. We get to spend it together.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We just wanted to jump on, folks, for a quick second here because we really wanted to wish everyone that follows the Life, Love, and Money Show, as well as Core Women, as well as Jen. And we want to thank anyone listening to this message. A happy 2021, a happy New Year's Eve. Thank you for being a part of our journeys.
Yes, I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, so many mixed emotions. Obviously, there's many of us who have been ready since like April to just say goodbye to this year. But by the same token, there have been a lot of different people who have experienced tremendous blessings. And I know Summer and I have talked about that. And, it's really perception. It's mindset. It's a lot of things but that's not to discredit. It's been a very, very difficult and tough year. But, we just wanted to say thank you for your support. We started this, we just did our 14th episode. And even before that, we do this weekly. And even before that, we had planned for about a month. And I remember when we were just planning, we were like, oh, we don't know what we're kind of doing and we'll see what happens. And
right.
So I want to share that experience because as we go into the new year, you might have some ideas. You might have some dreams that are unfulfilled and you don't have to have it all figured out. It's all a matter of just taking the next step and adjusting and figure out what progress you need to make and what steps you need to adjust. But this is a new opportunity. You've been looking for the new turn of the page, the beginning. And so, I know Summer's got some great nuggets for you guys to take into 2021. You want to share those right now?
I do. Cheers, Jen.
Oh, yes.
And this is water, folks. I like I kind of like water, but I don't drink coffee. So
cheers.
And this coming year, you might have an opportunity to win one of these mugs as well. To cheer with us each episode. All right. So I do have a few tips going into 2021 because I felt like, let's give some ideas. Let's give, there's a lot of things that have happened over the year. And so the first tip is always remain hopeful. We have had a challenging year for certain. There has been loss. There's been difficulty. There's been unforeseen stressors and so much more. However, there's always the opportunity to hope. We as humans have that ability. We have the ability to hope. We have the ability to hold on to moments and to treasure moments. People ask me all the time, what is one thing that, that you're hopeful about or that you treasure or that, you want to take into the next year? And I said, my moments. I'm just thankful for every moment that I'm here breathing, that I'm here, that I get to do and choose most of the things that I want to do in regards to my journey. So I'm very hopeful. So hold on to that hope, folks. I think it's really important. And remember, number 2, remember that you are valued, you have value, and you can live every day with value and purpose. I hear that a lot, like I've lost my purpose. Well, it's an opportunity this year to kind of hold on to that value, understand what your value is and your purpose. If you don't know what you believe or what you value, start the year with taking a deep dive into what you value and how that aligns with how you live your life. Just start listing out some of the values, what values are, and then start identifying what your values are, what you actually adhere to and align with. Then the third, feed your body. And this is really critical because I hear a lot of negativity. I hear a lot of these key buzzwords, breaking news, devastating. Yeah, we've had a lot of loss and I don't want to discount that. We've had a lot of stressors, but what I want you to try and do this year is feed your body and mind positive messaging. Before something leaves your mouth, think about how it's going to impact your well-being, your body, mind, and soul. Start this year by creating positive brain impressions and mapping. So there are my 3 tips for the new year.
Yes. I also just wanted to expound on the last one.
Yeah.
We're so geeky because we love science, and
We do.
she's a doctor, so psychology. So, when she says mapping, literally it is, because there are grooves that are created in your brain.
Yeah.
And so you have the power and the choice to decide if it's going to be a positive thought or a negative thought, and what are those literal impressions that are placed in your brain. I'm not joking. And it's like we talked about this in one of our past episodes, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where like a record, where you have those lines, it's the same thing. So every time you keep repeating a negative thought, it is creating a groove in your brain. So think about it, even on the biochemical level, physical level, it's creating these impressions. And so, when you are aware that's what's happening, like you want to just kind of like, wait a minute, stop and pause and go, what am I thinking? What am I dwelling on? And speaking of the news, be very careful. You have to remember, even from the financial side, a lot of that has to be sensationalized. Because if they report boring stuff, they're not going to get ratings. Nobody's going to watch. So they have to make it crazy. But think about it. Be very, very like if anything, I think all of the tips were great, but really being careful about what you're feeding your mind is so important. I mean, I kind of cringe when I hear like people watch so much news, and I'm like, why? You have to also pay attention to how that's manifesting. Like, how is it affecting your attitude and your being? Because you're filling it with so much news and negativity and all those things. So I just wanted to add to that. And then, one of my tips would just be, be selfish, but take this, carefully how I say this. It's when I say selfish, I'm not saying in a negative way, in a mean way, but I think too often we're so self-sacrificing at the detriment of our values, at the detriment that you're not living intentionally with purpose, like she said. And that's what's sad, because when we start to sacrifice that, we start to slowly die inside. And oftentimes we see people down the road, years later saying, like, I didn't get to do this. I sacrificed so much of this, when, I didn't get to do this. And why not be cognizant and paying attention to that now and do those things that you want for yourself? And it is not selfish, because you have to be able to feel fulfilled in order for you to show up fully and to be, super happy and grateful for the life that you're living. You don't want to come to a point in your life where you realize, I lost 10, 20, 30 years because I didn't serve my needs. And again, this is not from a selfish perspective.
No.
So going into 2021, pay attention to those things, those dreams, those goals, your values. Are they all in alignment? Are you doing something that's going to enable you to do it? Right. And if you're not, then what can you do? What is the one little step that's going to get you further going towards those things that you haven't done and you've put off for so long? So this is that new page turning, the new year that you all been waiting for. So now what are you going to do now that the opportunity is here?
I love so many things that you've said. First, I want to go back to the brain mapping and your analogy of the vinyl, of the album. so many people, I don't know, our generation, maybe 10, 20 years ago, vinyl. Okay.
If you're under 30, it was this black piece of
there are these albums, there are these pieces of vinyl. They're round and they have little grooves.
Yeah.
So I love that analogy, though, because we actually are making and creating these maps, these road maps in our brains. There's that matter in your brain, and the things that we say, the thoughts that we have are creating that matter, creating those messages, creating that impression, so to speak. So they truly are. In regards to values, living in alignment, as Jen said, is so important. Having hosted and created the Core Women podcast, I hear from so many women. This is my third going into the fourth year of doing the podcast.
Oh my gosh! I have to clap for that. That is amazing.
It's amazing. And I can't tell you, I mean, right now, I am booked out till almost the end of March.
That's
so
awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. But what I wanted to talk about here is what you said. I want to piggyback on what you said about many women in particular, and sometimes men as well. I include everybody in this. You don't want to look back and say, I wasn't able to do that, or I sacrificed my value or my dreams for A, B, and C. You can always pick up, your dreams. You can always recreate that journey. You can always create a new path. But if you're here right now and you have a dream, go for it. Go for it. Integrate it into your world, into your journey. You can still do what you're doing, but you can also work on that goal. You can also work on that dream. It's about putting action. People do dream boards, and I love that they do dream boards, but there's got to be action. I call boards a lot of times that I like to call them reality boards. Why? Because there's an equation here for me. It's the dream comes first, then the action comes next, and then the attainment of the goal is the reality. And so I'm going to show this, and this is my book, folks. I talk about values all the time. I know this has a funny title, an interesting title, F Yeah, Get Real with Strong Language, but this book is really about challenging you to look at your values. It's about understanding your values by utilizing the sensitive issue of strong language. We do not impose a judgment on language in this book. We ask you to take a look at it and how you interpret it. And we talk about it in relation to values. So I want you to really take that deep dive and see what you value, what your values and beliefs are, and how you're living in alignment with those values. And remember, always keep hope. Always keep hope. And thank you so much. Thank you, Jen, for being a lovely host.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, none of this would have happened if this wasn't, again, people, this was her dream, and I've just been blessed and, fortunate enough to be able to contribute to the journey. So, before I forget, can you tell everybody where can they get your book? Where can they find it?
Oh, they can find it. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jen has 6 books of her own. So make sure to follow you. And I'm going to ask you to tell the folks here where to follow you as well.
Sure.
You can get my book at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart online now.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are all major retail brands. And so it shouldn't be hard. Yeah. Same thing. You can search me on Amazon and the title should show up. And just hit us up, leave us a DM. If there's a book that you're interested in, if there's a topic, we are both avid readers. So I'm sure we can find something. If hey, it's the new year, I want to read something. What do you recommend? Reach out. We're here as a resource and to help you. And this is why we do what we do. We absolutely love this. We absolutely thrive on doing this every week. It's so much fun for us. And we just love pouring into you all. And we just thank you so much for your support and showing up every week for us.
Yes, thank you so much. Please continue to connect with us on the Life, Love, and Money page on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also catch this live on our Core Women page as well as Jen's pages. And Jen, tell us about your pages too.
Yeah, so you can easily find me on Instagram or even on Facebook at Jen Money Coach, JEN Money Coach, or you can go to my site, jenmoneycoach.com. But yeah, I think we're pretty easy to find online.
Yeah, we're pretty easy. I mean, if you just type in Core Women into Google or your search engine, it's going to come up right away. So I'm going to come up. So thank you again. We just wanted to kind of send some love, embrace you. Thank you for joining us. Mwah, mwah. Cheers.
Love and,
we love hanging out with you. We love answering your questions. Please DM us your questions, your life, love, and money questions. We are here. This is 30 minutes every week of coaching, half an hour free coaching. We want to hear from you. We want to answer your questions. And again, thank you so much for joining Jen and I for Life, Love, and Money with Summer and Jen. And have a great year. Join us next Thursday. We'll be seeing you.
Yes. Bye, everyone. Be safe tonight. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for watching the Life, Love, and Money Show with Summer and Jen. Dr. Summer Watson is the owner of the production and coaching company Core Women, LLC, is a doctor of psychology, has a depth of experience working in both for-profit and nonprofit in human services and mental health, is a professional coach, seminar host, documentary film producer, and an author. Jen Fontania is a former financial advisor and now a certified money coach, speaker, and has published 6 books. She has worked with organizations such as the Walt Disney Company, Warner Brothers, Target, Goodwill, and the U.S. Air Force. She loves working with women and helps them master their money and mindset to empower them to build the ultimate life without worrying about money. Join Summer and Jen every week as they go live on the Life, Love, and Money Show on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn.